Hello, I think we're live there. Can you hear me okay? Is the mic on?
I think the mic is on.
Is the mic on?
Oh, it's on.
1, 2, 1, 2, that's it. Okay, here we go. Díomh, fáilte romh, chuig ó Bhéal, is Misha Julie, is Misha Bannon Theanocht. So welcome to O'Vale. I'm sure we have a mix of people for the first time, people here, regular people, and also we have our online crew. So hello everybody, welcome to O'Vale. Biggie fine clum never dull. Just be patient with me. It's my first time emceeing when it's a hybrid event. So there's going to be a little bit of confusion, and there's going to be asking this guy here a few questions throughout the night. So look, just to give you an idea of Cad Harlean, Tasnomi, Lesson 5-word challenge. So we're going to start with the 5-word challenge. In a moment, we're going to be looking for a few words. We'll give you 15 minutes to write a poem which includes those 5 words. It can be as long or as short as you like. Then we'll give those who wish the option to come up and read their poem. Obviously, the people online will be doing the same. They'll get a chance to read their poem if they wish. The winner will be determined. It is a competition. So we've a little clapometer going in this room. And online, the people online are going to write in the name of the person who they believe deserves to win the prize. And the fabulous prize is a load of books, a rake of books, and a free drink. How bad? Okay, so Tasnomid Marshin, and then after the 5-word challenge, we're going to go on to our guest poets, who tonight are Róisín Sheehy, Fáilte romh Róisín, agus Diarmuid Johnson. Diarmuid Johnson will be joining us online, which is really exciting. So, without further ado, gan na hill bhfuilne, Tasnomid leis na 5 words. So if you have any word at all that comes to you, shout it out there, and we'll see what we have.
We have angel.
Angel. So we already have one word. Angel.
Yeah.
Lift.
Leaves.
What is it?
Leaves. Leaves.
Leaves.
Yeah.
I can't see. Oh yeah, that's coming from there. I was like, who's that? This is going to be confusing.
Cowlick, actually, and leaves. Angel, cowlick, leaves.
Okay, angel, lift. We have lift as well. Cowlick.
They're coming from this.
Leaves. Yeah, sorry, but we had lift here and moist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so what are they?
Angel.
You write them down there quick.
Lift.
Yeah.
Cowlick.
Yeah.
Leaves.
Yeah.
And moist.
Sorry, will you put all those in the chat for me?
My understanding of cowlick, yeah, is a kind of a quirk in your hair. Yeah, it's where your hair kind of has a weird bend in it, isn't it? Is there another meaning for it? Yeah. So they're the 5 words. Yeah, they're the 5 words. 15 minutes. So we just make it nice and quiet. Give people a chance to write their poem, and we'll see what happens then after that.
Do you take it back yourself? Leave it in the middle there. You can take it back. Do you want to be thicker? No, that's okay. You're going to do it in your head.
I picked up one stick. Violet sand down. Finish.
Okay, November.
Gamalishkin. Is only Guldina Fosig Screeve, I'll Dolaraig. So if anyone has their poem written and they're happy to read it, if you want to come up to the microphone, please state your name and read your poem, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, and the people on Zoom as well, as they well know, they can throw their names down if they want. Brilliant, up you come, good man. What's your name?
Antonio.
Antonio?
Yeah.
Brilliant, let's look.
Vibrant cowlick rumbling on colorful leaves, a spiral taking the lift amongst moist and clouds, taken on one hand like an angel wing. Thank you.
Mila Boykas, Antonio, thanks very much. Okay, and it looks like Jim is up next.
So this is called Baby Boomer Witch. The Baby Boomer Witch offers premonition, spiritual guidance. You'll find her hiding in the comments of the Irish Times, hexing the lefties, enchanting the establishment, with gesturing wrinkled hands over a bowl of moist leaves, tossing the snipped cow's lick of a Fianna Fáil youth. She tells you great wealth is possible, lifting social mobility. According to the ghost of Charlie Haughey, her angel, you need one key ingredient, your bootstraps.
Mila Maha, Jim. Yeah, we take yourself, Paul, wrote up you come, and then we take someone from the screen.
So, do I give my name?
Yes, please.
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Noah, N-O-A, Noah H.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I don't usually speak in microphones, so, okay. The door opens, and I'm waiting. No one ever enters. No one ever leaves. I'm waiting, faced with my reflection. Forever pressing buttons, stuck on ground floor. Open, shut once more. But the lift is going nowhere. Another button. Crash. A cry for help. This lift is going nowhere. Open, shut on the same goddamn floor. And I feel you. Your sweat moist in the air. Goosebumps on skin. In the reflection, my hair stands like a cowlick, like your fingers through the air.
Noah, thank you.
I don't know if I got all of them. Oh, I forgot Angel.
Really? Well,
sorry.
thanks for being honest.
Angel.
Oh, well, there you go. Thank you. So we're going to go to someone online next, and we'll go to Jeff. Jeff, you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
2 seconds now. Can you hear Jeff?
Can you hear me? I can hear me.
1 second, Jeff. Sorry, we can't hear you. 1 second there, please.
Hang on a sec.
Check, 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 check. Sound check. Sound check.
Hey!
All good? All good?
All good. Off you go.
I could have said anything I wanted before that. Okay, so an angel with a cowlick came to town. He sat on a pile of moist leaves, all brown, and said unto me, "You've been a good chappie. I'll grant you one wish, whatever makes you happy." So I thought and pondered some more, unable to decide what would bring joy galore. And the angel with a cowlick sighed away and muttered, "Come on, pal, I ain't got all day." So I nodded and said, "Right, the perfect gift. With all your divine powers, bring me a lift. The angel with a cowlick sported a frown. An elevator, you mean? To go up and down? That's it? That's all? Your priorities are funny. You could have asked for power or love or money. Just bring me a lift, I said once again. I don't care why or how or even when. So the angel with a cowlick said, fine, here you are. And suddenly appeared a giant lifting car. I stepped in that lift and made the thing rise, but not as high as the clouds and skies, just up to the top of the angel's huge head, where I licked my fingers all moistly and said, begone, ugly cowlick, and wiped down his hair. Now the angel has no cowlick on his head way up there.
Thank you, Jeff. I think you had the crowd in the palm of your hand there. We'll come back to the room. So anyone here ready to read a poem? Brilliant, up you come, thanks. What's your name, sir?
Daniel.
Daniel, thank you.
Thank my bald head, my cowlicks are tamed. Years since the last hairs fell from my head, like leaves in my autumn. Now as I stand at the mirror, I can look deeper than my appearance, even as angelic as it remains. Closer to the end than the beginning, my heart finally lifted into place, and the soft day leaves the mood moist. But the ground where I stand is solid.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, looks like we've two up.
after you, please.
Max, come on up, and then yourself can go next. Is that okay? Thank you. On Max.
I can only remember all the gentlemen that were doing the drag racing and the dancing in my day. A moist dollop of brill cream, kid. Flick a raven quiff. Comb it over and shine it gently, slick and black and stiff. Lift your eyebrow, swagger, street cred. Channel Roger Moore or Clint Eastwood. Sachet in those rawhide chaps. Leaves them ladies moist-eyed, tremulous, enwrapped. Look, man, you're the cowboy's dream. A cowgirl's dream, Mr. Cowslick, with your trigger finger. You'll be the Celtic prairie king at the stiletto and Stetson dance-off. Country boy, feet in the lay, minding Mullingar, the fastest driver in the West, trying to pull a doll with dosh and a hot fast car. Angel baby, it's not exactly our Daytona Beach, but you can watch drag racing with me from my country ditch. No.
Okay, so my name is Paolo.
Paolo.
All right, so the title of this is Silence. Silence. I lie wordless in my mess, a cowlick of leaves leaving, of a weeping willow the forehead, moist excavating scars on my face, as I feel uncertainty climbing up my body, from bites in my groin to cramps in my brain to heartbeats pulsing in my head, blood pressure. You're not an angel. Hit me hard your shovel has, while weak I am and was, unable to lift me up to being lifted, ground fractured, rootless root, empty jar of obsession and sorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo, for being among us. And we go back to the big screen, and Matt is next on the list. Matt, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Brilliant, and we can hear you. Perfect.
Okay, and the title of it might be something like Crown Toppers. Has a nature angel been about to lift our eyes to the lower skies these moist days in early May, when treetops grow their own crown toppers made from leaves of every shade of green, smoothies with their cowlicks here and there, all dressed up from head to toe in their exquisite summer wear.
Thanks, Mark. Brilliant. Is there anyone else in the room? There should There'll be plenty more in the room. Yeah, up you go. What's your name, please?
The angel rolled over in bed, head screaming like the tires of the car last night. There was a lock-in Lucifer's bar. Beep, beep, lift up an arm, smash, snooze on the alarm. 5 more minutes, what difference will it make? They say angels fall like leaves towards the earth as they begin their day's work. But this angel was late, and the boy from down the road was down on the road, with blood slowly trickling down his now moist cowlick until drip, drip, drip. There was a lock-in Lucifer's bar last night, and after the last of the angels stumbled out, arm in arm, singing psalm after psalm, the devil had made his plan. He locked up the bar, got in, and drove his car.
Thanks, Niall. We have someone else here on the way up. Brilliant.
My name's Leon.
Leon?
Yeah.
Thanks, Leon.
I don't know if it's any good or not. The angel leaves the depths of hell, vomiting the poison into the well. Cowlick in her hair, grateful to be spared, grateful to have the terrible lesson to cure to depression. Light lifts her through the well. She begins to flow as her body starts to glow. She emerges in the night, but everything seems bright. She flies away from the land towards the sea near the sand. She falls. This didn't go as planned. Suddenly, the tortoise emerges from the sand. Moist the sand feels in the tortoise's hand. This doesn't feel strange to him. He owns the sand.
Thanks very much, Leon. Fantastic. We'll jump back to the big screen, and we have Brian Franco. There you are. Can we hear you, Brian?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Brilliant. Off you go.
This is called Where Shillelaghs Come From. Whilst walking in the woods one spring day, I saw an oddly shaped pile of leaves. I picked up a long stick to shift and lift the leaves, revealing giant wings. When a drunken angel rose from the moist ground, which suddenly sprung blooms of orange sunflowers, red gerber daisies, and purple echinacea. The angel proceeded to kiss the cowlick atop my head, then he grabbed the stick from which a bright light glowed. It was suddenly slick and smooth. He handed it back to me and said, "Give this shillelagh to your father, and he will be blessed by a drunken angel every time he uses it." Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. That's all the names I have for online, so surely there's a few others in the room.
Oh, it's Pam now.
Sorry, there's one more?
Pam.
Okay, we'll take someone from the room here. Yeah, brilliant. Do you want to come up? Can you get up? No, somersault. Yeah. Yeah, Pam. And Catherine, thank you. What's your name?
Connor.
Connor, thanks, Connor.
Is a cow's lick on an angel too obvious? Perhaps so, but I for one would love to see it painted. A mural of moist leaves could capture its essence, lift high above the canopy in the moonlight.
Beautiful, there'll be another Connor. So I've no doubt there's a few others in the room. Would you like to come up?
Why not?
Why not? What's your name, please?
Mo.
Mo. That's I know you.
I saw that again. Sorry about that. No, just a moment. Oh yeah, here we are. Sorry about it. Ages since I've been here, and
Did you write a poem for the 5-word challenge? No.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you want
the
the open
5-word
mic at
challenge.
the end of the night? That's all right. We'll call you back up again in a while. I'll put your name down.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
No problem. I'll put your name down for the
I
open
thought there was a
mic.
consistency on the right for my mistakes. So.
Thank you. You're number one on the open mic, okay? Right, Sue Blue.
Right. Oh, good to see this room full. All these lovely faces in person. Working title, Traces. The wind weaves warmly through the trees as leaves unfurl from twig and branch. Shoots of green break surface, lifting the moist soil. Clods fall to the wayside. Spots of earth muddy the path that cuts the garden in half. Where it meets the wall, an elder stretches its arms skywards, swirled as a cowlick. Here, the cat used to climb up, where now an angel lifts her wings, her spirits, as the sunshine leaves the empty lawn for a new day to come.
Thank you, Sue. I might go to Pam on the screen if you're there, Pam. Yeah, there you are. Let me just check if we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Might get you a little bit louder.
Ooh, okay, let me try
But that's grand. Yeah, that's okay.
I'll get my face closer.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
All right. Old arguments shadow. Moisture lifted, ball of confusion. Cow licks our angel of the misbegotten. Leaves us backward, forward, sideways, underground hidden, street running, landscape erased, heart found. Thank you.
Need a break, Pam. Thanks a million. We have another person on the. Would you like to read, Catherine? You there?
Hi, I'm here. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I couldn't be there this evening. I prefer to be there in person, but just the day didn't work out well, and my husband had an accident, so we'll have to do this for this evening. So it's called Celtic Summer. It's Bealtaine, and I pay my angel with the first lift of dew from fairy hosts. The light god Lou treats the buds to soft kisses, moist with promise. Leaves rebirth, children leave. I cowlick every curl home as the mirror forgets my name in the month of May. But I still climb the hill of Ishnock to light the biggest fire ever and wash my faith in new summer hope.
Thank you, Catherine. I wish your husband well. Back to the room and back in the room. Yeah, there's a hand up. And Róisín, are you making your way up here as well? Are you? Okay, perfect. Hello. What's your name?
Eddie.
Eddie?
Yeah. Apologies, I haven't been in open mic in very long since before lockdown, so I might accidentally read too fast, but the cow was a prick with a misshapen cowlick. She would cry over nothing and lift her something with moist udders and leaves trailing under, with the grace of an angel without her wings. The lift of the leaves makes a cowlick in her moist something, and the angels will never see. Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie. Go holding her flat. Thank you. And Róisín, would you like to come up?
I think this is called Mouse. And the moist mouth of him cowlicks her sick, sad sentiment, like the leaves she gathers up crushed inside pockets. And the lifting crack of his angel laugh barks back at her hoarse half smile.
Thank you, Róisín. There's always a few that need that extra bit of encouragement to come up and read their words. You might regret it. Yay, up you come. There's two. Brilliant. At least two. Brilliant. Hi, how are you? I know you've got your name.
Hi. No title. I'll probably call it the 4 Minute Wonder, since we got in with 4 minutes to write it. She moves to lift her broken wings, delicate as the dew that settles on the leaves. Her lips moist with yesteryear's kisses, the cowlick curling forward over falling tears. What transpired to make this angel fall? No one knows, nor cares, nor asks the reason why.
Sure, well, good on. There's someone down the corner there. Yeah, up you come. What's your name, please?
Jake.
Jake?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. This is a poem I wrote. It's in the 5 Words Challenge, obviously. Sorry. It's called Angel. Angel, your kiss falls on my cheek. With the weight of a feather, it lifts melodies. We lay on the grass of Bell's Field in the evening, moist drops pearling the peripheral feeling. We were scattered like blown leaves, limbs wrapped and strewn where we saw fit, as the last drops of rosé drip from the cowlicked clouds. A look is enough to say that we won't say out loud. Just yet. Soon. Like waiting for the ripeness of the moment. My hand is in yours, but it's my heart that you're holding.
I think the reality speaks for itself there. Aine Ellis Chomra, we found her with Donna Leaf. Anyone else? Going? Hey, Karen. That's something. You can sing it if you want. Get
Easier.
Okay.
2 cowslicks sit either side of your widow's peak, a sign from the future, while the moist and tender air lifts the leaves and sings, is there an angel at your hair? Is there an angel at your hair?
Mahalo, Grammy Margaret Karen. Aine Ella. Anyone else at all? Or okay, just give me 1 second and I'll look at the votes from the online people, and we'll announce the winner, who will get a few books. I think I've dropped a few of them behind the couch, so I'll have to grab them after, and their free drink. Oh, up you come. Mo has the poem.
It's great in suspense.
Yes, sorry about that earlier on, and to redeem myself, I said I better do something. The Hell's Angel leaves most for dust on his Harley. He's cowling, flying in the lift of the wind.
There's the skill, huh? Can't Grammy Margaret. So just to explain quickly, the clapometer is really your cells. Just give you a close eye on the claps, the oohs, the ahs, just the general reaction. It's your cells really that determine the winner. And we're going to get some names from online. So just give me 1 second. I'll just check in with the boss. So any other Zoom votes online, that would be really helpful if you throw out a name each, please. No pressure.
Just three online groups. Just fact check them as you feel.
Perfect. Okay, thanks. Okay, so it's very close. Moshiv, there was a shift when we got the online votes, and it looks like our winner this evening is Catherine. Is Catherine with us and ready to read? Yeah, well done, Catherine. Well done. Now, I'm not sure how we do the free drink. We might put a can in the post or something. Will we? A can of your liking.
I'll be there next month. Don't forget, I'll be there next month. I'll be back.
Save it for sure.
Absolutely. We'll be here waiting for you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everyone. Celtic summer. It's Bealtaine, and I pay my angel with the first lift of dew from fairy hosts. The light god Lou treats the buds to soft kisses, moist with promise. Leaves rebirth, children leave, and I cowlick every curl home as the mirror forgets my name in the month of May. But I still climb the hill of Ishnok to light the biggest fire ever and wash my face in new summer. Thanks, everyone.
John Catherine, our champion this evening. So, we're going to move on now to the next part of the evening. Okay, I'm going to make some announcements. Then I'll introduce our guest poets. They will read roughly 20 minutes each. Then we'll take a quick break before the open mic. Tá lista gom, so we've made done heart most mahofangert Donna Leve an open mic inishram agus for the animal lista. So if you want to read on the open mic, give me a shout during the break and we'll put your name on the list. Okay. So a couple of announcements or deuce. So Ovale aims to maintain a safe space for writers. This is very important. So we aim to maintain a safe space for writers and attendees and subscribe to the Arts Council Equality, Human Rights and Diversity Policy. We ask participants to maintain respectful when communicating and report any offensive behaviour to Ovale. Okay. The 10th 5 Words International Poetry Competition is ongoing. The words for the coming week, 10th to the 7th of May, are, you get a bit of a head here, date, moon, root, niche, coil. I can repeat them later if you want. Date, moon, root, niche, coil. If you look up the Ovale website, www.ovale.ie/5wordscomp, you'll find those words there again. Next up, please be aware the event is recorded, as you can probably tell. And we will be available to revisit as an MP3 podcast or on video via vimeo.com/Ovale. Our featured guests on Monday, 13th of June, so that's the next Ovale Monday, 13th of June, and that's as part of the Cork Harbour Festival, which will be lovely. Our guest poets are Amanda Bell and Susan Rich, and both those poets will be in person. All are welcome to attend in person or online. And if you'd like to participate via Zoom, please email info@ovale.ie. Thank you to everyone who's kindly offered donations. Donation jar is it's there, it's under the horse's head. PayPal donations can be made as well via the link above the live poetry stage on our website. So Ovale website really has all the information you need. That's the horse's head, or the under the horse's head is the donation jar. I know not many people have cash these days, but we'll just put it around, and if you have anything at all you can put into it, it's greatly appreciated. I'll start with it. It is. So, without further ado, first up reading tonight is Miss Róisín Sheehy. I'm just going to give you a short biography of Róisín's. Róisín Sheehy is a poet, playwright, dancer and broadcaster. Her poetry and plays have been awarded Oireachtas na Gaeilge and Stuart Parker Trust Awards. Her debut poetry collection, Liminoid Yusru Barb, is Few Canach. So she has just 2 copies for sale here this evening. It was published by Cushgame 2021. She was awarded a Patrick Kavanagh Fellowship in 2021. She lives by the River Nore in Kilkenny. Róisín is invigorated by dance and has danced in various productions with Gaeltacht and Pavilion Theatre Dublin. Chunaku ar Mulchgale actually Vishikos or Shimachar Shingoli. Please can we give a lovely warm Ove welcome to Róisín.
Gramada Harda, I'm on the nervy, so anyway, I'll relax into it. Most of my poems, what I'm reading tonight, is in Irish, my native language. So I say this quite a lot when I'm speaking to anyone. If you don't understand the language, just listen to the sound and the rhythm of the words. And yeah, don't feel ashamed. I think Irish people can get bogged down with that. So to start off, I'm going to read, let's start with the poem. Yeah. I get a mango, eating a mango. And the mango in this poem represents a mother's breast and nurture. And it's a poem really on grief and the absence of nurture. I get a mango. Líanas mo fócaí le uallach mangóna sa bhásach in Ayacucho, Peru. An gíre bhí an. In Acalan bhí leanamh ag sú ar dala ó chiach a máthir. Mise ag dúga leacht mango. Cheanníos mango in nubs na téise. Bhí sé clúdathe I blaisteach. Is an leacht trimethe glán amachas. De réir dáibh tháinig sé an tlí ar fad ó Ferú. Bhí irid ocras aram. Bhóberg ar ihis an criccan. Mise nár dú riamh bainne cíocha. Gramada. So, bear with me. Yeah, I have an English translation. Yeah. So the next poem is Cuairt ó Bhandan Loch Siúil, which is a visit from a traveller woman. A friend in Waterford. I used to live in Waterford, and I just had the great blessing of having traveller women come to the door, some of them selling, some of them visiting, and Nora was someone I really connected with. Nor hagan Nora tugann sí léthe míochtain céire tinta cnámh míle benacht. Nor hagan Nora tugann dim a hanbhal go sí, is an sean seá darnach as mo fóca. Nor hagan Nora tugann sí léthe baine na nána, I seoig, go leis bhí gríos mo chorcan. Nor hagan Nora, bhí na Gardaí ar dala I a stoppa, is good an ban a mála. Nor hagan Nora, taken gamach ar hána mise ón locht siúil. Nor hagan Nora, taimig snáb leis na capel, I loch bhaile I scaun láin is an áin na siúra. Nor hagan Nora, taken goróva, gur hána mise ó hobar an hrá. And I have this translation here. Okay. This is from a traveller woman for Nora O'Reilly. When Nora calls, she brings with her 1,000 blessings, bonfire nights. When Nora calls, I give her my old clothes, the last change in my pocket. When Nora calls, she carries goat's milk, hawk eggs to heal my swollen skin. When Nora calls, the guards are mad to stop her. A woman in a green car steals her bag. When Nora calls, I know that I come from the travellers. When Nora calls, I go bathing with the horses at Ballyscanlon Lake, the river shore. When Nora calls, I know for sure I was birthed into love. Okay, so here can Kaeliuras and the council. And this one is celebrating the menstrual cycle, or flowers, which I like to be known. And I was out in Ulster Technology on the Moon today. It's actually the university in Ireland that offers free sanitary products. Oh. The first university in Ireland college. And it's amazing. So in there's a knock kainte, or a saying in the Corcaghine Gaeltacht for when you have your menstrual bleed, and that is Tá mo chóir muigam. So this has gone out of speech now, unfortunately, but when I first heard that, it was really musical. So that's Tá mo chóir muigam, and it just translates literally as I have my chores. But in Irish, it's a lot nicer. Okay, Kaeliura. Tá mo chóir muigam. Níam bralín fola hís ag an áing. Chím bradán fasa ag fila an bhruach. Sprayan sé a híal na hí. Tá mo chóir muigam. Caire na scecha gile ag fós is ag peacha. Bláithíonn Americán daraga freibheacha na grán. Tá mo chóir muigam. Ólam isce ón tabar, ihim de lóga caisibháin is bláhanna mongach meisce, go dúirfí frísibh, de hinnis cín is pianta bulig. Tá mo chóir muigam. Irene galach na fola, ag bracha is ag dala, cumar na tarthúlachta. Come on. Okay. Would you all like to say after me, Tá mo chóir muigam? Okay, in honor of Patrick Kavanagh, because Santa Claus came early this year, I was awarded the Patrick Kavanagh Fellowship. So I'll read Canal Bank Walk. Leafy with love banks and the green waters of the canal, pouring redemption for me, that I do the will of God, wallow in the habitual, the banal, grow with nature again as before I grew, the bright stick tracked, the breeze adding a third party, to the couple kissing on the old seat, and a bird gathering materials for the nest, for the word, elegantly new and abandoned to add delirious beat. Can't read my writing here. Oh world, enrapture me in a web of fabulous grass and eternal voices by a beach. Feed the gaping need of my senses. Give me ad lib to pray unselfconsciously with overflowing speech. For this soul needs to be honored with a new dress woven. from green and blue things and arguments that cannot be proven. Okay, so Bogamine, going back to Irish, and Liam O'Murhilla, Cork poet, has a meher clean fear but he wrote this gorgeous book of him following really a dancer from West Cork who went to Paris and joined a dance troupe. It's all fiction, but I'd say there's an element of truth in it. And I was in Paris recently and I was reading this again. And I'm just going to read a bit. Okay. So the dancer's name is Nora Buckley. And again, I imagine she'd be from Durrach, Kilnamartyr, so the West Cork, Gaeltacht. And in this piece, she's in Paris, and it's the loneliness of being in a foreign city, but how much she needs dance to keep above that. Frachach sin seanúig na sa bham go chéile leis, tubar a choige chur haar muoilinte, agus go muirsfí iad dá bhanach sí ro ada ag cuine bhar. Cahar a dúin about Paris dan tuiscintaice ar mion chaint idir daoine sa tráid ná mun gnó. Ná an rán gur cholá sé a lúndan le cúisina a chuignis. Chur an rinke an tuignis ar gúil cinnte. Mar meach an seanúignis béidir ní bhrathach sí riachtanas rinke choláid a riamh ina géalga. Fui mar go raibh ceol rúnda ina lár a déal I gníomh seanma ar son a hanamna. Agus bhriseach sí léithant ag gháil an cnuk síos le fána I dúrú an rím an dhéar, agus a raig go dtí rú Notre Dame de la Rette. Go móilech sí le féin ag siúl in níos cúthe, in rachana na mansráide, a chuinnig isteach sa chóirstanacht ó chuan na Franke. An festas áthe sin cata le chéile, an íochant a dúin scuite. An fiafrí siúrí sa súil a stite, iad ag seasamh na dóirse, searbhuntaí eile ag glanán na géimeanna, na maná a chuig le colaíocht an bharagaigh, chun graim a chiamáda na méal agus bróga faoi na buin. Bhí nósacha tamil a bhuairt na sí ar chúl sé péal Notre Dame de la Rette, agus ag fille a bhaile ó na fálaí, chun slí a bhuairt dá ceann cíniú, dá colan téarnamh. Bhí teasta té péal agus brí le gaoi ina sí. Okay, fóga me mar sin in. Right, so Liam O'Murhilla. Is anyone else hot in here?
Regularly.
Okay, so I'm on to my search now, and this is actually for an island woman. This is a real woman. Lísna Banini Hálaigh, she was born on a rock off the Great Blasket Island in 1873, and she emigrated then to Massachusetts in America in 1897 on the Majestic, and they landed in Ellis Island. She got the train to Chicopee Falls with her friend Peg Owen Vonnie Chunachur. They waved goodbye to Mélie Chetany who later became the midwife of the Blasket Island. Couldn't find her ticket, and they had to run on the bus so they wouldn't miss it and get to Chicopee Falls. And that was the last that we know of Lísna Banini Hálaigh and her friend Peg Owen Vonnie Chunachur. So I suppose I'm on a personal search. And yeah, this is a poem. I recently made a little film, short little dance film, kind of a poem film, like what we've been seeing here. Yeah, so in Vanasilia Harig, the woman born on a rock. Okay. Agreed, and yeah, Cleti, I say this comes up quite a bit in the poem. Cleti means feathers. And Vanasilia Harig. Agreed, leash na banini hálaig, Carrig an Vanig, Inis Vicky Loin, 88 agus Dara Ráta Fuhe, Chicopee Falls, Massachusetts, America, 89. Valís de Cleti Harig an Vanig, Fiocha Mara Glagr Neil. Chus boardlinge ó Chomh go Ellis Island, Grime daingen agam de Cleti, Hewlis de Schnachte Chléite Berkshire, Pacha Cleti Mahraum, Slín op ó Finne laste in ard na Vlachas, na Crean Cogranil gan Stad gan Stena, Scapas de Cleti, Chola part na Bucaí a Chine Mílta Móra Inis Vic Loin. Hic Koch go raibh mianach na himrice anat, an lá a léochtú I go luadar Fiocha Mara is Fupini Charig lag chrá. Cé gur imimetú irig is na hol déine cad a hárlachit. Tuigim go raibh bha, go raibh scíháin sular rug an bás Grimart. Nation. Okay, I'll stick with the Basket Islands. The next one is a love poem. Hear this up? Fioch Mara. Yeah, Fioch Mara, that's killing in Cormorant. Níl me himach go fóil ach spéile me go poem. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the next one, Eileen agus Donald. This is a love poem based on Donald Curhin, Tomas Curhin's son, who drowned while trying to save Eileen Nicholl. She was a middle-class scholar from Dublin who visited the Basket Island in 1909. So it's a conversation between the pair. A Ronal is laatste me verente, Sheehan siad goed. A Ronal is laatste me groeig, Sheehan sestach het veil. A Ronal is laatste me holen, het al litte de raam. A Ronal is laatste me geen kien, Kim lia me gwinnen de karige, a knasien en krikken atehe. A Ronal is laatste malt, Chachas timpel de gluin. A Ronal is laatste me garn, Chachas wim an ranev. Is lumse de volk, a chimlien toe let live. Is lumse de hale, a losten leis na tante. Is lumsen spas idir de ra huil, ni vragen toe an vocht. Is lumse dillen, a vroensing de toin puil. Is lumse de Germaan, leon mead in aun. Is lumse de scornach, hugestan de gleach. Is sin an chrikken, lahamid mar vralin siadach. Is sin in de kna, den verlaagdassen. Is sin in de roomte, arsule gala ag farre. Is sin in de skadain, laskamid ar Marleen, le gaich na sterme. Is sinne na tantracha, vroemer sin féin ochter, idir spéir is farige. Is sin an riocht in a gaid for sin, an sabelbán ag crema an vroig. Sléin Hanson. You're doing okay, listen to foreign tongue. Cad eile léithe mé. Yeah, beidir go léithe mé. Astra go an sogam. Okay. Taftert Breed, a message from St. Bridget. We'd one about Ishtach and Baltana, and this is Breed at Tuberhodnet. It's beag choluad ar a chahaig an ihe jaal, dan a himmerkig an aránacha, a het on the mainter, is a hrasnig an toran shlé tuil, in a raibh a grí has shukaha ag an air. Bhí an tá leis an muachil ón Afghanistan, a chinig ar gléach a chur ar Breed, an ban a hiúl ar isce na locha, is a lag drishacha de fashionéirí. Dú siach Breed ó chola an dhírig ag fohan hobanit I Malavorne. Nuair chola si á gón an tógánaig, néitach si a hará. Nach géan tú an ghealach ciana a chéimse. A message from St. Bridget. The clear night served a little company for the lone immigrants who fled from their people and crossed mountainous frontiers where the ice pierced their hearts. Luckily, the boy from Afghanistan thought of calling St. Bridget, the woman who walked on lake water and laid rushes for fellow passengers. Bridget was woken from winter hibernation at Gubnet's shelter in Ballyvourney. When she heard the youngsters cry, she could only say, "Don't you see the same moon that I see?" Yeah. I finished up, so that went fast. Cad ná mé Cich ná mé le rhubarb. Okay, rhubarb. My grandfather used to grow rhubarb. It was the only veg that grew for him. And ní léon tóir leis an rhubarb chun do bholaga olivú. It basically means there's nothing like rhubarb to cleanse out your system. But actually, my grandmother used to say ní léon tóir leis an am an bhuí chun do bholaga olivú. There's nothing like seaweed. And the almond bhuí, yellow seaweed, I suppose she meant kind of the spaghetti seaweed. Yeah, okay. Rhubarb, goine mato grada. Ní léon tóir leis an rhubarb chun do bholaga olivú a dtíorthach mat mar
gotten very quiet. I see the room. I think they may be at their break. What do you think?
There's somebody on the line coming on next now, isn't there?
I think it's I think it's the other Diarmuid.
Your Irish poetry is fantastic, isn't it?
I'm hello, Diarmuid here. I should be reading now, but
Oh, I do. We wouldn't know by that name now that was you.
Paul just put a note in the chat. We lost
Don't worry.
broadband.
I'm texting Julie. I have her phone number. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay, so we're going to rock and roll there now in another minute. I see Diarmuid is Fernash. Hi Diarmuid. We'll just give people a few seconds there to get back in their seats.
Do you just put a hat on the chair? Yeah. So if you ladies, we're also cool.
I just like have surprised you.
Add my name to the list. I have to shoot off early to get the bus home though, so if I anywhere in the top.
What's your name?
Niall, yeah, anywhere.
Okay, thanks Niall. And Jim and Mags. Is that alright? Okay, so Lanhira, let you get fair play. Our pilot over here, Paul, has sorted out the Wi-Fi problems. Diarmuid, Walter wrote.
Good a míle maith agaibh.
Tommy to reach the Vahashnesh Lane Hannafin, which is all right, Nora, when we were trying to get the connection right there. I read your bio.
Very good. Thank you very much.
I'll let you get straight into it. It's lovely to have you back at O'Vale.
Thank you very much.
Walter wrote Agus Ganaila.
Good a míle maith agaibh. Hello everybody. I can see you're having a good time. I'm sitting in my here in the central Brittany, where I spend much time, and I do a lot of writing here. I'm not very far from Cork. You just swim across to Roscoff and down the road. So I'm going to read you 3 poems this evening. These are 3 poems which I wrote last year during time which I spent in Connemara. I left Ireland quite many years ago, and I tend to go back for a week or two in the summer and maybe at Christmas. And for different reasons, I found myself in Connemara in the late autumn of, it must be 2020, I suppose, and then in spring of 2021, and I realised I hadn't spent autumn or spring in Ireland for 20 or 30 years, and or in Connemara, and I rented a house in a place called Inishni, which is near Roundstone. It's between North and South Connemara. It's in the west. It's and from Inishni, one can see the 12 pins, or the Bannabola. These are the mountains of very dramatic mountains of Western Connemara, and I spent 2 weeks looking at the mountains. I expected them to move away or something, or I wasn't quite sure what they were going to do next, but they kept changing. And I wrote 3 texts, one about the mountains, one about the sea, and then in Cosharrig, about 20 miles from Galway, about the bog. And these are these pieces I've chosen this evening for various reasons. I haven't read them in public before, although I have recorded them. And they're sonorous poems. They have a sonorous quality, and perhaps even an onomatopoeic quality and alliterative quality. And their structure is very simple. The lines. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the structure now. The lines have this. There's the first foot and the second foot. This is the way the line is divided. If I say the line has 2 feet, it sounds strange, and if I say it has 2 foots, people accuse me of poor grammar. So I say the first foot and the second foot, and so there's a very clear accentuated pattern, 1 or 2 stresses in the first foot and 1 or 2 in the second. It isn't a strict system. But it's inherited from the metrical tradition of the Gaelic bards, all right, although they would frown on it and say it's wildly irregular and postmodern, I suppose. So the first poem I'm going to read for you is called An Sáile in Inishni. Sáile is one of the words we have in Irish for the sea. There are many words for the sea. Sáile is a common enough one. It's cognate, with the English salt, the salt water of the sea. We just call it An Sáile. And it's a series of I suppose you might call them kennings of some sort, or appellations, or similes, really. And each line is made up of 2 compounds. The first one has sáile, and the sea is described in a compound word. The second is gui, which is the wind, and that's described. So this is the structure of the structure of the lines. I have an English gloss. I'm not calling it a translation. I'm calling it a gloss. In other words, where the words are translated individually, or the semantic content of the words is rendered in English. I'll put it that way. It doesn't purport to be a translation, but it appears to have acquired a sort of a character of its own. I'll read it, and we'll see how it, whether it takes off or not. But it can serve as a gloss, or perhaps even as an independent text of some sort. So this is An Sáile in Inishni, and our house was surrounded on 3 sides, and it was March and windy. So mi warta in Inishni, Shumarvi an Sáile agus an Rí. Vi voorhale an la finriche, faal sáile la flascriche, frichhale la frasriche. Vi sáile ruwa an la roostriche, sáile rioch la rupriche, sáile ribbach la roodriche. Vi brakhale an la burriche, brahale la burbriche, buihale la bloskriche. Vi koorhale an la korriche, Colloghale la conriche, Cúnsale la queenriche. Vi trumhale an la trainriche, Trathsale la timriche, Trimhale la tarbriche. Vi lunghale an la lariche, Liahale la laskriche, Leerhale la lagriche. Vi glashale an la shukriche, Gurhale la garvriche, Griensale la greine, agus gan riche. Mi warta in Inishni, sin mar vi. Thank you. It's very helpful if you clap, because I know I'm at the end of the poem then, you see. So we're going well. So I'd lost this for some musician friends here in France who wanted to make an arrangement, which they did, and but I'm going to read this for you now, and we'll see how it goes. The English language has produced some banal rhyme. Unfortunately, you'll have heard from the Irish already, though, and you're open-minded people, that the Irish rhyme was possibly far from banal. But so I'm going to read you this now. The sea and the wind in Inishni. March in Inishni, watching the sea, watching the wind and the sea. Here is what I saw. A raw sea, a biting breeze, treacherous seas, the breeze buffeting, waves bristling, skies laden with rain. Reddish brine today, a blasting wind, blue and grey stripes on the tide wind, rushing. Today the sea thins, bullied by a storm, speckled waters now, the wind jabs and jibes. The waves seem to boil, whipped up by great gusts, a surging tide, now the wind is rash. A delirious sea today, the wind blows its trumpet, the tide foaming, the wind twists and turns, angry waves now, the wind is dogged. Soon the sea falls, the wind drops. Then the currents grow heavy again as the winds surge. Today a bullish wind bruises and breaks the surface of the tide. A boat appears, the wind is shy, the waters turn grey, the wind breathes lightly, for once the bay is limpid, the breeze kind. A green sea today, wind icy, a turbulent sea, wind rough, a sun-warmed sea today, the wind wears a smile. March in Inishni, watching the wind and the sea. Thank you very much indeed. And so the next day, when I'd written that poem, I thought, well, there we are now. That's the wind and the sea, enough of that. And so I had a look at the mountains again, and there they were, looming and foreboding and doing all the things that wild mountains do. And I was brought up in Galway, and the 12 pins for us, though they were always there, you know, but now I found myself moved to try and capture them in a poem. And so there are 12 peaks, or 12 pins they're called. There are 12 of them, and at one stage in the poem they're listed. I don't have a translation or even a gloss for this one. The structure is similar to the first one. There's a lot more alliteration in it. The word Bama is the pins, the mountains, Bama, the Bama Beola is the name of the 12 pins, and they're various adjectives of different kinds, describing them during fair weather or cloudy weather and so on, as their colours change. There are 2 or 3 or 4 similes where I describe them, first of all, as monks in a boat huddled together. You know, you might think of St. Brendan crossing the sea with his monks. The mountains reminded me of that. And another simile is a huddle of old women whispering together. And another one I see here is a fistful of barnacles on a rock. So looking at the mountains and just dreaming about them and putting this together. Na Bana Beola, Bana Buona, Bana Balava, Bana Bar Wheela, Bana Bon Ravra, Bana Brin Dorcha, Bana Blisk Runda, Bana Bruchdarsa, Bana Briher Wuchta, Banna brecha lá bra, banna braid ghorma lá brahal. Banna boga lá bradáin, banna báistí lá brianach. Bín gaur, bín wán, bín vrec, bín charach, bín a chuir wór, bín a chuir vig, bín dyr a chláir, bín I lean niske. Banna ban chrunne, banna bahesh vare, banna broch churke, banna bard tostacha, banna bolgacha, banna beestúle, banna basúle, banna bánige. Na banna seo is buan mamacha mád, is sean chailechaí a gogur córá. Is boláin wóra a ngort gon fáil. Is barne iad wis na trá. Bín roi, bín broin, bín ghúf, bín letri. Banna broloch scáfara, banna buacacha, banna ballast turma, banna bresa. Banna bochta, banna bi nochta, banna agnóla, na banna beola. So in the Irish language we have a sort of like a distinct idiom for poetry where there are loads and loads of words which we usually don't use or rarely use, and we're not really sure what they mean either. Because we use them so seldomly, you see, that we can't quite remember when we last saw them. And this is part of the bardic game, you see. But although there was a tiny element of self-parody in the text, ultimately it was an etude or a study in these short lines, in this idiom. How are we doing? I have another really long poem. Is that good news? This is what divides the men from the boys. This is a very sexist comment, but I don't know how to say it in other. How it divides the people from the people. I don't know. We inherit expressions, So and this next one is about the bog. Well, when we say the bog in English, we're not quite sure. I don't know. It's called Criorach in Irish. Criorach is in English. That might be moorland. The Portach is the part of the bog where the turf is cut, actually, but Criorach is the wilder uncut part. Criorach. And so this it was very late autumn, October, November now, Samhain, and the gradually the colours die into reds and yellows on the bog, and so the poem is constructed around two words. So I'm doing the opposite of the previous poem, and these two words are rua, not darug, which means bright red, but rua. Rua sort of russet, so the russet colour of the bog as the year wanes, and bui, which is yellow. But the bui in Irish doesn't mean the bright yellow of the English language. It means it's a slightly broader spectrum. It can mean anything from light brown, all that sort of thing. It's a natural colour rather than a chemical colour, I suppose. So rua and bui are the only two words you need really to make friends with this poem. And I do believe I have a translation. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to read the Irish first, and as with it's the first and the second poems, this poem follows a similar structure with the 2 feet. Oh no, I got it wrong. The 2 foot. Oh no. But you know what I mean anyway. I explained it earlier. So it has that rhythm accentuated and short sort of staccato lines. So it's rua and bui, and criorach fwy hawn. Criorach rua, criorach bui, criorach sawn. Sheer criorach she, Bui rua yn cyrioch. Bui rua wii. Lia wii yn ish. Lia rua wii irisht. Lag wii yn cyrioch. Lag wii lag rua. Lia lag wii. Lia lag rua wii. Thys wii yn cyrioch sio. Gynnwch rhan crum rua agus bui. Cron crum cyrioch lag hys wii. Yn cyrioch sio is grua wii. La dorcha sauna is atil wii. Cyrioch sco wii is lag sco wii a li. Down wii an down cyrioch sio. Down alt idir yolk agus hib. Down train down bun down bar wii. Tevel rua ho fos. Tevel rua Paul rua e Paul du fo du vro shirgu wii. An cyrioch sio is ceirsach gaun, is ceirsach vrak brak locher kier wii. Cyrioch kroon wongoch rua kroon wongoch shonach. Cyrioch scoop rua bolog rua bui. Cyrioch sprech atin sio sprech atin ro wii. Alta men een a wole gogob wii. Is sheer rua an cyrioch sio kroon wii kier wii. Cyrioch kier rua sco vrak bui. Muir cyrioch sio e famwyn wii. Sian wir cyrioch rua agus bui. Well, do I have time to read the translation, do you think, or what would you suggest?
Yeah, talk on 3 nóid fóca.
3 nóid Carcalor. A rud éans mé mar sin léim an taisteach an Carcalor, so I'll read the English text. So, moorland in late autumn. Moorland russet, moorland yellow dun. Late autumn moorland, soaring moorland, eerie. Yellow russet moorland, russet yellow, discreetly yellow now, russet yellow soon. Faint yellow moorland, faint yellow, faint russet, discreetly faint yellow, discreetly faint russet yellow. Doe yellow, this moorland, with its leaning russet yellow tree, leaning tree, vaguely doe yellow moor. The moorland is yellow cheeked on dark November days. It is sun shower yellow, blooming yellow, more shy blooming yellow hued. Dun yellow, this dun coloured moorland, brown haired, both reed and sedge, brown, loud brown root, brown, Paul, brown. Shadow russet too, shadow russet, russet pooled, black sodded, black russet, ever black russet. Brown as a blackbird hen, these moors. Speckle-breasted, speckle-reeded jet, yellow. On the moor grows a bay dark, main russet bay dark, a fox is this moor, brush russet red-bellied yellow. The moor is firs ablaze, blazing firs, vibrant yellow. See, a flock of small birds on its shoulder. They are yellow-beaked. Ever russet moor, darkling russet yellow-maned, russet-maned moor, bloom-speckled yellow. These moorlands are a flood, a seaweed, yellow sea, old moorland sea, russet red and yellow.
Míle buíochas to do it. And that was a lovely masterclass in the art of poetry there. Gur míle mágad.
Gur mágad.
Let me just give another big thank you to our other guest poet this evening, the lovely Róisín Sheehy. I'll stop looking at you now, okay? Okay, so arriving, we can open mic. If we can just keep, just respectful, keep the poems as short, don't go on a complete rant, please. Just so everyone gets their say. We're going to have to start with Alexandra. To Alexandra or Lena. Alexandra's online there. You ready to go? I'll use the back of my head up there. I should have brushed my hair better. Huh? What you say? The Anam, yeah. Okay, Alexandra?
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect.
So it's sorry, it's 12:30 in Greece, past midnight. So I appreciate going first. Can you see the designs going?
Yes.
On the screen, okay. Θα δείξουν συμφέρον και εκ των διαφερόντων καλή στην αρμονία και πάντα κατέριν γίνεσθε. Contrasting elements converge, and from their union, the most beautiful harmony is born. Heraclitus. And the river flows, the never-ending flow, and our bodies go against the flow, and our bodies go with the flow. So many people suffering, ailing, so many people flourishing, blooming, synthesizing turquoise love and kindness, like a colorful blossom on a tree, directing, balancing our physical body, our beauty into health, strength, vibrancy, healing weakness, disease, releasing our spirit into mystic quality. Fly, 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 and the river flows, the never-ending flow, and our minds go against the flow, and our minds go with the flow. So many people devising, propagandizing discordant ideas. So many people initiating, rippling, harmonic ideas, synthesizing turquoise love and kindness, like a perfect symmetry in uneven diagram, directing, balancing our thoughts, our words, into order, clarity, relief, subduing darkness, chaos, releasing our spirit into mystic quality. Fly, 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 and the river flows, the never-ending flow, and our hearts go against the flow, and our hearts go with the flow. So many people fighting, taking a dislike to each other. So many people collaborating, taking pleasure in each other's company, synthesizing turquoise love and kindness, like a spark of fire in the darkness, directing, balancing our emotions, our passions into hope, courage, brilliance, overcoming resentment, fear, releasing our spirit into mystic quality. Fly, 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 and the river flows, the never-ending flow, and our souls go against the flow, and our souls go So many people gloomy, stressing outside their magical world. So many people glowing, shining inside their magical world. Synthesizing turquoise love and kindness, like the fluorescent glow of a firefly, directing, balancing our intuition, our flame, into aspirations, visions, luminance, phosphorizing, visible, invisible, releasing our spirits into mystic quality. Fly, 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 fly. And the river flows. Just let it flow. Thank you.
Stephen, thanks very much for the introduction. Thank you very much. We're going to move on now to the next person in the open mic, and that's Mo. So welcome up.
Thank you very much. If I can indulge you with two very short poems, and if the truth be known, two wouldn't make one decent poem. The first one is for the lady behind the bar here. I wrote this poem for Abby, who used to do the bar shift before you a couple of years back, and I made it up at the back of the room while I was waiting to do something. It's called For Abby. They come on Monday to the lofty bar, a lofty crowd, it must be said. They stare like the stone horse. They stare like the stone horse on the counter at the readers, spouting words from the heart and soul. I serve them drink, mostly porter, black like Diarmuid on Monday nights. I like the 5-word challenge. Fuck off out of here, I feel like saying. When it's time to close. I take my till, turn on the glass washer before I leave. I know it drives them cracked. And finally, it's an old poem, and this is a recent poem, and it's called Ireland Declares War on Russia. Sorry, Ireland declares peace on Russia. Sorry, gotta get right. There's a big difference between war and peace. And this is not war and peace, it's only a few short verses. I dreamt last night I was Uachtaráin na hÉireann. In a State of the Unionist address, I declared peace on Russia. A panic-stricken Putin caught his cabinet at the table. From the long end, they muttered, Vlad, we're not able. We're not prepared. They all play music, sing and dance. General Gerasimov, Stravinsky's dead. We haven't a chance. The West Cork fishermen run our operation. Now we're at peace with an insolent little nation. Send in the Bolshoi ballet with a balalaika quartet. Train a spy to steal a Kerry set. He escaped the Kremlin, some say to Argentina, but he's often seen in Crotty's pub playing a concertina.
Next up on the open mic list is Margaret O'Regan.
This is a lockdown poem. It's called Distanced Loving. Suffused with longing during COVID lockdown. Bereft of touch, pent up lovers' lust. to find a solution to this frustration. Sexting and surfing is now our station. Many months imagining mind-blowing scenarios, orgasmic virtuoso in cyberspace nova, having images of archived adventures, of words softly spoken, of senses awoken. As we replayed sessions from erotic recesses, unearthed from our minds, we scaled new heights. A lifetime of fantasies, exchanged and enacted, unbounded passion in hedonistic fashion. Veritable sexperts we have become, a sexual portfolio we have begun, undiluted erotica stream stored in the iCloud of our dreams.
And next up is Constantine.
I'm going to read 2 or 3 poems. Hidden stories. Hidden stories, wandering through the meanings, like Orpheus' lip show, sweet and bitter, everything moves round on the wings of dove or just type, the second fall like a revelation. After the storm, cold waters flow from my depth. After the storm, the beach is almost deserted, the child is dreaming. Love. I was a weekend, I remember in the Statue of Liberty Park, we talked about the love, about life, we also talked about the weather and many other things.
Thank you, Constantine. Thank you. Next up, we have Niall. Niall in the house, there he is.
Tongue smile. We stayed up late all night speaking in tongues. A chance of fate in the interim. I swear, you won't take another one. City lights and blah blah, what's on? I've been found and now I'm a lost son. I look in the mirror, I swear I'm not the only one. Sound slither slowly, softly, and sometimes I'm kinda soft, gooey, all bones on the inside. But my mind's mush is seeing clearer than ever. That I've been picking fights with the fella in the mirror. I know I said it before that I've been seeing clearer. I want to spit words and then lick the fire. 'Cause time is a drag-on spliff and then split tired. No sweat like pre-spire, it's dire. But again with you, I'll have to conspire. 'Cause we stayed up late all night speaking in tongues. My heart was heavy, I took it out for a while. Now I've got no more words, so I just smile. Through the tongue came sound's essence. Dull your senses, crack your skin, eat your teeth, feel the earth beneath your feet and crave the birth. Bless this curse. We stayed up late all night speaking in tongues. We stayed up late all night speaking in tongues.
Moving on, we have Luke Horgan in the house. Oh yeah.
Hello. This one's called Some Answers. They came again to speak to us. They came from over there. They heard of us in Cygnus, the black hole self-aware. In came the outsiders from a void filled with care. They arrived to show us what really lies out there. We're not alone. We never were, you see. Before this told the story of the man from Galilee. Who knows if he existed or if he showed us truth. But now we have some answers that we need to feel less blue. The God that we have worshipped, a star we call the sun, when really he is powerless compared to the chosen ones, the people of the planet, which has within it song, and with it is the people who could tell right from wrong. But does it really matter in the end? We all knew. Those people with their differences, those people, they are you. These differences which make us unique are something we must change in order to assimilate the knowledge of the strange. There is another gender, a one which is true, you tell us your name, and the male-female blues will disappear forever, for you only are your name, that you decide to call yourself whatever you don't blame. For now I say no more, the truth must remain. The men who birthed the religion, the devil all the same.
Very remarkable, thank you. And we jump onto the screen to Brian Franco. Are you there, Brian? Okay, so we'll just move on to the next person on the list here, and that's Olive.
This poem is about an aquarium. My daughter bought herself an aquarium to relieve job stress, and this is the fish talking. My mouth on pampas grass, underdog in a bowl, luminescent white-bellied, supple balletic movements skimming bald surfaces of stone, a mortuary of insects covered in post office green pebbles. She monitors me, admires my golden cloak, metallic edging, graceful movement of tail and fin, titillating water. I am relaxed. She flounders in the dystrophy of the mind, convulsed by human fear. I need a single daily crumb of fish food. She could live simply too, if she learned to float, tread water, just be. I do what I am meant to do to help her relax. This is my sea, my world. Her bowl is a complicated place where I have no ambition to be. I am happy in prison, this gentle place. I am a fish, you see, pulvis et umbra sumus.
Next up on the list is Maria. Is that right? Yeah.
Hi there. It's called Oh to Be Young Again. Oh to be young again, innocent and free. No chains of responsibility tied to feet tired and worn, but soft, light of step. The four winds rise to hear their sound, welcoming with gentle embrace the soft, rosy cheeks unmarred by the rains.
Maria, thank you. Do we have Brian Franco?
No.
That's okay, we'll move on. So online we have Jeff. Is Jeff there? Yeah.
Jeff is there, yes.
Hey, okay, off you go. Thanks, Jeff.
All right. So this one's relatively new. It's called Trying to Break into the Group Conversation. So this is a nice restaurant. What did you guys order? Well, the thing, I saw that. Yeah, that. If I know what you mean, I know somebody like when. Yeah, but to answer your question, and that's, well, does the funny, I know a guy who, and when the best part of that movie, You know, the most important rule of life that everybody should know that solves every problem. But is anybody even hearing me? Is there any? Nobody can hear me. I'm a serial killer with 12 bodies buried in my basement. I'm going to give $1,000 to each one of you. There's a deadly hurricane heading for this area right now. I know for a fact the chef peed in all of your dishes. I have undeniable proof that God exists and that he hates people who listen to rap metal. All of your flies are open, wide open. I'm going to leave now without paying my share of the bill. Bye, assholes. Thank you. Trying to break into the group conversation. I have a novel for sale called Hate Story. You can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I'll put it on the chat for the other folks.
Good man, Jeff. Gurmina Malgat, thanks very much. That's great. Next up on the list is Daniel.
This is called A Lot of Sorrow. Some say there are 108 types of human emotion. Some days I feel I felt them all, while on other days one may linger longer than needed. A while back, for a performance at New York's Museum of Modern Art, the band The National played the song Sorrow 108 times in a row, once for each mala bead in a mantra that lasted 6 hours. A meditation to sit with the feeling of this emotionally dark song, to know it and embody it as sort of a catharsis, transcending all the other thoughts swimming around one's mind. On the days when I'm sitting quietly, wading through my thoughts, it's not always worry. Sometimes it's pondering the endurance it would take to perform like that. Well short of immolation, but inspiring in itself. And if I may be sitting in the darkness for longer than you'd like, trust that I'm only checking for lost souls in the corners of the shadows, so that no one gets left behind again. As I box it up to share with you, please know that this too is a bid, not a burden. You shouldn't need the years that Mary took to see it as a gift.
Beautiful. Gurmina Malgat, Daniel. Next up on the list is Eddie. Guys, it's a fabulous night, I have to say.
Hello. I'd said a lot of poems to read, but it was something I'd written pre-COVID, so it's not like something very much a 16-year-old would have written. And it's called The Softest Touch. The softest touch, light as a feather, our hands pressed together, eyes locked at one another. It's real, I swear, not fiction or fantasy, not some Tolkien masterpiece, but a surreal Kafkaesque, where the world is upside down, flipped up on the wall, purely insane, like roaches with human veins, but it's real, I swear it's real. And you look at me like I'm art. I'm not a Van Gogh, I don't bloom pretty yellows and greens, not a beautiful sky, but a cloudy night, and surely not a Picasso, I'm not that complex. But I'm a Praxiteles. Broken, knocked down, moss-covered, and dead, lost an arm, what's left a stump over years of weathered pain. Yet you gave me the softest touch, kissed my lips, poked my cheeks, felt my stone blocks, caressed the ends of my arms like they were wet flesh and warmth and blood, and only then did I feel like art, timeless, beautiful, alive. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eddie. We'll jump online again. Are you saying Brian Franklin?
No, it's gone.
Okay. Ham,
Okay.
would you like to read?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right.
Yeah, just about.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you,
Closer.
Wait a minute.
if you just speak as loud as you can, Pam, and as close.
How's this?
Yeah.
Ooh, scary, right? Okay. All right. You can hear me, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Things saved by my father. Baby teeth times 7 children. Tooth fairy bounty brings belly laugh. Had to be hid somewhere. Kept perhaps to hold to a better time. Before innocence lost. When sons were still alive. And daughter not driven to wander by stepmonster's wrath. I love to go a-wandering along the mountain path, a skin natural to me, safe when world grows too hot, tree whisperings brush mountain frame sky. My pockets and backpack fill with heart-shaped stones from wild rose-draped slopes, from Honey Creek's tumbling flow where black bears still roam. American sycamore embraces my 700 square foot steel and brick bounded city space. Won't allow for many things, only for what fills me. And the rocks, like baby teeth, cut on my journey, line my windowsills. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Well done, thank you. Next up on the list is Connor.
Thank you. Cheers. Distractions. So many and too many distractions. Distractions you have not asked for and distractions you have allowed in. Into your everyday, into your mind, into your habit, into your life. And you're so wrapped up in them all you can't tell them apart from what you want. A distraction from a distraction till you don't know where you started and can't find your way out. You make the mistake of going back, but you don't go back far enough, and you're still only following a distraction. Distractions have followed many a good person all the way to the grave, and only on their dying breath they know what was that all about.
Thank you. Next up on the list is Noah.
Well, I prepared wanting to read, but I've kind of changed my mind. So I'm going to read something, but I'm going to ad-lib the ending because I haven't quite come up with it in my head. So I'm just going to see what happens. Yeah. Okay, this piece hasn't really got a title. It's kind of working on it. Okay. I drank myself into consciousness. I still don't know why. Changed the channel to find the same thing. I paused for the Angelus and found a shotgun in a recess. Hidden in cobwebs, a man was shot running from his life. A girl gave birth to originality. A cat had enough and got stuck in a tree. More at 11. I'm just looking for some kind of confirmation. Satellites confer. We don't deserve to be alone. I read my star signs. I consult my numerology. No, I didn't win the lottery. Guess I'll try again next week. Maybe the news anchor is correct. I smoke too much weed. But I'm capable of great things. It's written in the creases. It's ordained in tea leaves. It scrolls across my TV screen. In bright colors, far too fast to read. In downtown Beirut, a bomb grazed the house of God. A homeless eyewitness declined to comment. In other news, I'm on the road to recovery. Andy Kaufman lives. Oswald did it. I don't love you. Extraterrestrials exist. I open the window to catch a glimpse, an unexplored world. to mindless, empty, chattering screens that continue to talk to me. And finally, the weather forecast. You're not perfect. Life is meaningless until you step outside.
Thank you very much, Noah. Next up is Patricia.
This is called Perfected Burn. Rhinestone to the nose, exacting the flesh, in danger of collapsing out onto the streets. The acrid paint job covers a glut of sins. Political cladding, daring to venture forth. Opposite namesake grimaces like the times. Spending the non-existent. What now for discipline? The private scent enamoured of a soul. Declaration of love elected by common vote. The higher the building, the closer to God. Eating as timetabled, a lot of time borrowed. Seas without coverings, fair or foul. Interrupted dalliances good for hangover. Taking lonely seats, a pause through lost points. Excavating into good life. Entailed exactly. The online joke never failing to discern. The hapless fair trade, good news announced. Loved into a time, appreciated without a turn. Wiping the apogee, clean of all promiscuity. The perfect figure, chanting out of sheer notice. Lying into comedy, going into deserted. Knowing a binary love, the mysterious prop. Renting while still hungry, a cause to celebrate. Timing away and dallying somewhere else. Tipping away into rubble, a gem of ridicule. Going to melt in rain, a recorded sensibility. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Moving on to the next person on the list is Padraig.
This is a really short one. It's about 10 sentences. It's the first thing I ever wrote, and I just started writing it on the 22nd of March. So if any of you great, experienced, skilled people have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. And basically, it's just 10 sentences. Just a small background. Do you know the way with Irish people, I've just been thinking of it for years. So it's the first thing I wrote. When we give a compliment to someone, we don't really give it to the person. We give it to like their friend or someone else, and then it like finds their way to them. So I was just like, why do we do that? And sometimes we don't do it at all. It was like, we should do that more often. So I was like, that's what I'm writing about. So anyways, it's called Compliments Left Unsaid. Fucking nerves. Compliments left unsaid. Why keep a compliment secret? Never are they met with regret. With no benefit to inhibiting praise, none can underestimate the momentum it sways. Like how morning rays set the best for your day, the most simple praise can go such a long way. Next time you notice good in someone, try not to leave it be said undone. Be generous as you go about your way, but don't forget yourself at the end of the day.
Padraig, that was a brilliant poem. Next up is Michelle.
Hi lads, I missed you lots. This was hard to write in a good way. Over time, this can lead to poor control of the muscles responsible for opening and closing the mouth. Lockjaw, hardcore, construct. Ties and tights at a desk by the window. He doesn't know me. I remember him though. banish, stone split, sidewalk. This is work and home and hellish. Routine leads a leadish bedhead, spit, sink, silk and lace. Take my hand and wrap my waist. Seedy dance floor panorama. Let me be and get your arm off. These ladies aren't for decoration, nor for getting stuck on or stuck in. Women, women, woman, I am one. Godly and repressed. Take this flesh, help yourself. There's hardly goodness left in it. Fears abreast and frenetic, elusive independence, security, forget it. It's been moored by man, men, your wingspan. I did never possess it. Ever wondered what you harbored in your arms and in your chest? Ever questioned why we find it so attractive? Thank you.
Next up on the list is Holly. Take it away.
I hoped I wouldn't be after her. And it's my first time, so and I'm not a public speaker, so hopefully it's will go well. Symphony in the City. So that's the title, Symphony in the City. Cobblestones are the first. How cantankerous their strata. On dry days, my feet finding every notch and hitch. The hard stone eating through rubber. But when the clouds peel back and relent, I balance on slickness instead. The islands rising as stones are wedged apart, like tributaries joining hands. The floodplains fatten, hastening from drains that empty and rattle out beads as loud as coins, then rasping like a lava flow over rock and pockets of rogue green. I can almost feel it, taste it, the roots extending their tongues, drinking of the deep urban soil, their thirst enough to rival the Amazon basin. My eyes pull towards the light now, wavering above the press of rooftops, skewered there on a steeple, beside washing and satellite dishes, while the clouds fold away into distant corners. I'm looking down that deep well, a blue window against a wet backdrop, still smelling wet and heavy, like damp woolens drying on a radiator. Crows fall into that expanse, shrinking to shiny black pins, black wings shivering off every last drop, as if to polish them with sun instead. Now my feet complete their circuit, gliding over cobblestones like ice rinks, but my vision has connected skybound to behold that symphony of light and water. Their cycles play over and over, chasing each other round every aspect of the city. Thanks.
Done Holly, did that like a pro, fair play, Carmina Margaret. We jump onto the screen now if Catherine Nolan's there and ready to go.
Yay! Thanks everyone. Thanks for making
our fight great champion. Off you go.
And thanks so much, everyone. Thanks so much. It means so much today. For years, I've been trying to write a poem about Margaret O'Regan.
2.5 years.
2.5 years it took me. And in Fitzgerald's Park, the title came and then the poem came. So it's for Margaret O'Regan, and it's called Silver Fox. Pagan shield maiden, urban street warrior, casts off the night and coaxes kings nude. stories in every pocket, a laugh to crack stones, tweed tickling toes, soul in the ether of forever. Fire red, strong, words, banners, irreverent sinner, soil, crescent, arrow, silver fox mounts the dawn, and yawns, job done. Earth tilts once more to the sun. A meteorite lands in our hands.
You're being wonderful, Patrick. Thank you. What an honour. What an honour. So Mary O'Connell, I think, is next up there on the open mic. You ready, Mary? Yeah, we can't hear you, Mary, yet.
Oh, sound is gone.
Yeah, Mary, are you muted there? Do you have something to press? We can't hear you, Mary. Can she hear me? Yeah.
Oh, she's muted on her.
She's
muted.
Yeah, I've told her. You all heard me. I have a microphone. Mary, we can't hear you. You have a button there to press. The mute button.
The unmute button. Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me now? Disembodied voice, okay? You can't hear me, but you can hear me, but you can't see me.
Oh, we can see you, Mary. Just don't do anything crazy.
That doesn't matter. So I'll just go ahead and not hold up everybody. This is called Vespers. The waiting wood receives them. Instinctively, their heads bow low as they move into its tabernacled hush. A leafy track, lemon and bronze, muffles their steps and draws them under naves of arching larches, whose latticed leaves allow random bolts of brightness. The giant's cairn confronts them when they descend the hill. Instinct pulls them to one side, aware of its reputation. A momentary shiver, and they walk out of its shade. From the undergrowth, a sudden burst of sound pulls a startled pheasant into sight. In one swift, powerful movement, his burnt orange body sweeps into the sky. Peace returns when, in the distance, they glimpse a sheet of water that brims beneath the trees. Wrapped in its cloistered calm, they leave, grounded in gratitude and love, closer to each other and to God. Thanks, folks.
Next up on the open mic list is Antonio.
Hi. So this poem is inspired by the great fire of Wishnach, where I have been just the last week. So timeless roots, fire runs in the stones, dark grass of the hills, like a bird of ancient druids. Blood is burning for a new life. Concentric circles, circumreflections, summer reconnection, devotion to the quiet spaces. The landscape engages with the identity and becomes possible to quantify the density of a moment, complete encirclement, infinite history of Celtic mythology, all around the fire. The eternal worlds are united together, sharing the next story again and again, over and over again. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. Lovely, thank you. We're going to jump online again, and is Colin Holden there?
Yeah. He is.
He is. He's going to jump on there now in a second.
Call in the house.
Hi guys, how we doing? Sorry, my phone glitched there.
Hi, Colin.
You see you?
How are we? What's the story?
You can see. Not great.
So I am running off Zoom on my phone, so I'm just gonna do something I might be able to remember. A couple of lines from a couple of weeks ago. It goes like this. I just exist, and I can feel my pulse and my lips, and I think of a kiss.
Oh, great.
Ah, we're back. Sorry.
Keep going.
And I can feel my pulse and my lips when I think of a kiss. I'd have to look at the notes on my phone. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to fluff this one and call it a night. Much love to you guys.
Thank you, Colin. Lovely to see you and hear you. Okay, next up on the list is Jake.
Okay. So just a little bit of background on this poem. It's short, but it's about a nightmare that I have frequently. So while I'm reading it, if it's not too much trouble, if you could close your eyes, but if you're not comfortable, obviously don't. This poem is called There Is No Rain Dance. I was dying for an eternity. Worry crept down my valleys as a spider crawls down a thread to tell me hope is brittle honeycomb in the face of dread. And to sweeten the thought, tears rolled like pebbles down the mountain and dripped into tea that had gone cold eons ago. There is no rain dance. This is the navy shade of a dead sun. And the sands of time compile to cover the temples to their peaks. Only echoes of fruitless sacrifices remain to taunt the ghosts on the dunes who solemnly long for the rain. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jake. Not him. Next up on the list is Anne. Are you going to read?
Yeah.
So this is called Sheehy na Burtoch, and it's inspired by one of the characters in the Glenwood Park, and I'm lucky to be living very close by to that wild urban place in the city. So Sheehy na Burtoch. Sheila of the Bog heads out to dinner, long legs dangling out behind her. Don't need no company, likes her own scruffy look. Don't get me wrong, she spends hours on it. With rough determination, she's dressed to kill, kill, kill. But first, she prays, prays, prays upon her victims with a gaze that never flinches till she's inches from the game. Some neck she has to fold away and sleep the night at ease. And that's for the heron in the Glenroe Park.
And next up on the list, the fabulous Jim.
So this one is actually a little bit of an ensemble with Subaru. I just want to quickly tell you what the poem's about. So, you know when you're picking petals off a rose and you're like, he loves me not. So it's that, but like in reverse. So you'll see. You ready? Loves me not.
He loves me.
He loves me not.
He loves
me.
Not.
He
loves me.
Not.
He loves.
Not.
He loves.
He loves me.
A lot.
He
loves me not.
He
loves me
not. Rose petals rise in circles and lilt into. Oh, I'm shaking. Okay. Rose petals rise in circles and lilt into my fingertips. I attach them to the stem with blood-dimpled fingers. How all of the crimson liquid trickles back into my skin, droplet by droplet, cooling inside those raw crescent moons, eclipsing on my skin. He loves me.
He loves me.
He loves me.
Not.
He loves.
He loves.
Me.
Not.
This was supposed to be all gothic and serious. The rose flourishes to full bloom in my fingertips. My touch fuses the broken stalk, and all of my blood wipes off those needle-sharp thorns that suture the wounds clean. I backstep, backstep, backstep out of lovesickness. He loves me.
He loves me.
He loves me.
Not.
He loves.
He loves.
Me.
Not.
I'm dream drunk, floating through a garden of roses, beneath the fire of red wine spilling across the sky, touring the hot copper sunset with the burning hot metal of Venus, shining between us and the sun with a brilliant syzygy, emblazoning the rainfall to a spray of glass pinballs. I feel the wet cosmic energy seeping into my skin, restoring innocence to falling in love again.
Fabulous. Really lovely. Brilliant. Next on the list is Max. And she ran out of the room as usual, and you called her in. And she's back. I know, yeah. I just hope that it's staying true enough.
So, okay, this is a little bit, Jake has a lovely reference there to rainbows and what he thought about it in a different way. This is a songwriting prompt that I got from Group and Partners, so I hope I can do it there now. And I did it with the others for Fitzgerald Park. And it's about the joy of meeting my friends for a little bit of a coffee. Meet me at the fountain on the grand parade, where once the merchant princes came for their Sunday promenade. We'll have a roasted coffee with the crema full of froth, and we'll climb the stairs of the Bean and Leaf, go urban sketching from the top, and we'll raid a rainbow over Cork, bold against grey skies, and it will stand guard till it's dark, like the barrack fountain where some folks cry. We'll spin a collared wheel, a rainbow banner through the sky, shout black country, she sparks to Fitzgerald Park, dancing the fountain's rainbow spray. The once the Vikings docked their boats where the South Channel waters flow. We'll have an avocado sketch the otters as they play, and we'll stretch in the grass by the cenotaph, feed the swans as they come our way, watch the swans as they glide away. And we'll paint a rainbow over Cork, bold against grey skies, and it will stand guard till it's dark, not like the Berwick fountain where some folks cry. We'll spin a collar wheel, a rainbow banner to the sky, to clear like Montreal Park, Sparks and Fitzgerald Park. Dance in the fountain's rainbow spray, dance in the rainbow fountain spray, dance in the rainbow fountain spray.
So we're going to jump online next. Next up is Massimo, and I just heard that Massimo is going to read Cahill's poem and his own, so that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Are you there, Massimo?
Hello, hello, hello. Can you see me and hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, wonderful. So, yeah, Cathal was having technical difficulties, so this is the poem that he put in the chat. I know that life's a dream because it speaks to me in symbols. I wondered what it means, so now I know that it is simple. It goes like this: I just exist. I can feel my pulse in my lips when I think of a kiss. My heart skips like a stone thrown across the sea of my soul. No man is an island, yet by inlets and islets we are known. Love is pure, for this I'm sure, that your inlets to me are the sea on the shore of my soul. Yet you are fleeting, a moment to hold. The heart is to love as sunrise is to gold. So blessed be all lovers, and blessed be the night, and blessed be the darkness that they turn into light. My name is Cathal, and thank you so much. A beautiful poem, Cathal. I always love to hear a fellow rhymer. So this piece is, if you don't mind, if I do my piece real quick. This is, it goes like this. If I'm not awake, then at least I'm wakeful. If not still, then steady, or for now, just stable. If not willing or ready, then at best I'm able. If not being perfect, gives my life room for being graceful. My life is like a non-fiction fable, a never-ending record skipping on a spinning table. An old twisted tree that seems to bleed with sweet maple. Sometimes I fear her shadow, but her shade makes me grateful. So with an attitude of gratitude, I try to see the beauty of a path in every avenue. What if it's not a magic world, just a magic view? And it's not a magic mirror, just a magic you. Taking in creation in amazement, depending on the way I choose to paint it. Every stroke of the creator makes a lovely statement, depending on the way I choose to frame it. So I fit my broken piece and see it matches. My life story tells a legend as I read it backwards. Storms pass us, but still we let the wind catch us, turning thorns and broken glass into rose-colored glasses. So I'm grateful for the gift of this existence, like an Omni theater with a ticketless admittance. Whether I'm the star, the one who watches or who listens, I just throw my own flowers and catch my own kisses. Thank you all so much. Peace.
Thank you, Massimo. We're going to stay on the screen here. We're going to go to Matt. You ready, Matt? Ready to go, Matt Mooney?
Yeah, ready to go. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I was very taken tonight by Yakin and Róisín most beautiful poems, most beautiful Irish. So I decided in the shake-up that I would have to do an Irish poem tonight. Short, very short, with its own translation, and it's a new poem, even though that it has appeared in Diarmuid the Poetic Prism Anthology, an Irish language poem, which is quite unusual with the translation. Lim Rua. Fúidir faoi ar rothar chun an bhaile mhór is ba cuma leis an aireann ina cuine nó na gaotha móra bhí go minic ag séadó mar bhí an tupadóireacht aige le déanamh. Is é an scéal foríoll níl fúidir fé a heile, mar tá Lim Rua sínta marv fi cré na cile. Ba thu an leadóg sin a bhí imgalta trá á féle orm ná stoppa mar riomh chun cainte. Bert ag dul iníis, bert a gcuin ag stracha, fúdor fóin, ach bertar oríonn sa deireadh. Braim, uim, ú idilí an rochaí úsal rua. Is garad an tlí é ón dlíbán go dtí an relic. Red Lim. Headling hard, head down to town, suffering the rain driven by rogue winds that slapped him in the face. His shopping had to be done somehow. Alas, my story is, his hurry is no more, for Red Lim today lies buried in the clay. Many moons ago, a student lad of mine, I regret I never stopped to talk to him. Age chasing both of us, battling on, and now I miss him from the road of life. Always in a hurry, till time is called at last, caught between the cradle and the grave. That's right.
Last Cheshire folk are in listus. We have 6 left. So once again, we'll welcome back up Sue.
So the lockdown was kind of a great time distorter, wasn't it? So I wrote this piece in April 21, and I've done it a few times, but it was mostly online, and I haven't really done it live. So I'm going to do it now because it fits the season. And I think I have to hold it. I didn't practice, so here we go. Summertime lays. Oh yeah, and I want to say this. This actually ties a little bit to what Róisín was doing earlier. When you were I don't have Irish, but when you were explaining about your poem that had the period in it, right? I do write about the cycle as well, and this is not about the period. It's more about the experience after, living with a natural cycle for over 25 years. I noticed every summer how my cycle was delaying itself, playing a trick on me, just trying to catch me. So it's really about that. It's called Summertime Lays. How the moon clock beats during day and night as fertility waits for its time to ignite. It waxes and wanes through the course of the year. Feel it loosening up when the summertime's here. For the melting touch of love we burn as biology drive, just waiting for its turn. On the strawberry moon in the summertime lays, as we tingle with excitement for passionate days, we loll in the shades of the luscious trees in the green, green grass with the flowers and the bees, chasing kisses from lovers, playing cheeky games, while biology drives pulse on veins.
Come the thunder moon and we glow with love as the nights get hot, winking stars above. Round the fire in the dark we snuggle up close when the pheromonic scent of fertility flows. And we're playing wild in the summertime lays while biology drive is counting our days. On the deep red moon with the feast in full swing, we dive into one and we moan and sing, and as we lose our rhythm in the summertime lays, flying high in an endorphin haze, and forget to keep count in the tantric dance, while biology drive, still waiting for its chance. Come the harvest moon, when the nights turn cool in summertime lays, we think we can fool fertility's power, but surprise, surprise, while the clocks slow down, our cycle flies and resets our moon to an early peak, so biology drive can catch us with a trick. And before we quite know what moon it is, biology drive has already come to bliss, giving life an unsuspected chance, for she will not waste a summer romance. So watch out for the endorphilmic haze of fertility's tricks in the summertime lays.
Thank you, Sue. Okay, next up on the list is Kieran. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Hey, Kieran.
You never cease to amaze me with the spirit of giving out compliments without due. More power.
We're in the ginger community proud.
Thanks, man. And I haven't even started. It's called The Happened and Happening. Alone with thoughts and thoughts again, to cry for and to carry, to smile at and to marry, to new thoughts returning, and dry now from the rain again, steaming from saturation to touch dry once more, and for a second touch. And if it rained all day, and all it did all day was rain and rain, what would it sound like? Would it have the pitter-patter, splash and ripple? Or would it have the slow vowels and steady consonants of my voice? And what would you know of the difference between saturation and a visceral report? From a mind in active retort to moments past unconscious, made conscious. What do you know of honest responses, unconcerned with your beliefs? What is the drying dry to the seeing eye? Enclosed by wet skins steaming. Parts of your past evaporating to join the air of now. Forgotten by your touch-dry body, but clutched to by your mind, learning of umbrellas and slick-mack raincoats and growing in fear of the mood swings of the sky. What lengths are gone to honor your past experience? What is the shape and structure of the threads of thought that connect the happened to the happening? How long grows a silken strand to span an aging landscape before breaking at its own weight and soon forgotten? What value have pillars placed to support that which has gone, made structural by actions guided gazing backwards, the fading rescued by intention and love? How romantic the bright lights of the search and rescue mission for your disappearing self. How costly the expedition. When the touch dry and breathing is starved of your attention, navigating a landscape undetailed, searching for the strength to get wet again. Thank you.
Margaret here on. We're going to jump onto the screen next to Mona.
Thank you. The 20s. Will the roaring lion of the 20s coming down the tracks swallow me whole? Will I flounder like Jonah, or will I fight back? I lived through TB and polio epidemics. I duck and dive with COVID. Wars reoccur and persist. My father fought in World War I. I lost an uncle in World War II. Was told, eat your crusts, they're starving in Korea. Dressed as a Mau Mau warrior in a fancy dress in the 50s. It is time to get into the trenches, open myself to what is new, create a future, for that is where I am going. Bolstered by confidence in the past. I will place more chairs at my table. Look to the dark sky. See pinpricks of light. My brothers and sisters, their homes in ashes, see the same stars. In this new world, we are all virtual friends. Reach out. Reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona. Lovely. Next up is Jason.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So this thing's pretty new, so I've got my safety net here in case I forget. There's two things I need to say. One, I tend to do this really loud, so sorry for blowing your ears off. The second thing is understand that not everyone's from North America like me. So when I say Excedrin, that means just think paracetamol. Yeah? So that's an important cultural context for this audience. But anyway. This piece is called Curious with Questions. I started off in this world feeling completely lost, trying so hard to chart all the swirling, fleeting thoughts. Then all at once, a small idea occurred to me, arriving right as it was supposed to, unhurriedly. If I am curious with open eyes and questions, life always supplies me with lessons. I will come to know through time that I can confess them to comprehend them, rend and upend them, bend and amend them, but be sure to accept them, nurture and nest them so as to further invest them into all of my brethren. But I'm still stocking up on the strongest available over-the-counter Excedrin, hoping to counter the constantly available dreaded head spin. Well, bloody hell, I certainly fell then, failing to avail of the rushed momentum found at a tailwind's tail end. But much smoother sailing now as I face the headwinds with grace found from within every trusted best friend. Dropping off raw prose into the crevices of my engine, and then It all goes from fatally stagnant to ascension. That feeling was primal, essential to my survival. I was in denial, so idle while awaiting the arrival of my own revival. Threading the needle and pushing the dial, I'll remake myself adamantly, knowing we're here for such a little while. And my name is Jason J. Fisher. All I want is to write with such insight. The words are considered scripture. Go out at night, chasing the light to free stars which flicker in a picture. I was stressing, then guessing, now assessing that the absolute best thing is when it's all coalescing into the next thing, the correct thing. And I find, if you find the time to mind your mind, then mind your mind. You'll find you can redesign your mind, refine your mind. Then compressed carbon hardens, realigns into 100% pure, unadulterated, crystalline diamond shine.
Nice one, Jason Garmada. Róisín? Gurmíle bhagad.
Thanks, everyone. It's a pleasure to hear you all. Sometimes the last delivery of care from a nurse to her patient is to lay them out. Morning. As the morning walks the fog from the fields, as the curlew's call lifts an echo from the lake, as the wind gasps through the pockets of a rusted gate, the bluebell's closed lids bow quiet. And over all this, she lifts a wet flannel across his brambled arms, freckle-drenched skin churned to milk at the elbows. His farmer's hands earthed strong. In the sleeping room, she says, "Tom, you must get ready." Her lantern eyes hold him steady as she shaves the shadow days from his chin, her own mouth puckering in. Helps him into his Sunday best, the navy tie with the horses on it. Hanky to match, peeking like a road sign from the lapel pocket. And the brown leather brogues with their tiny holes making a design he could never take a hold of. Above, cloud-covered skies leak, and then the creak of wheels on linoleum, and the knock on the door as the morning pours open another day, and the bluebells lift their heads and stand still as he passes.
Real Margaret Róisín. We've one left on this marathon of an open mic. What an amazing night, Gurmíle Margaret. And last but not least is Eva.
So Dee, you've gotten it. So okay, perfect. So just quickly, I'd like to say something that's a bit over the top, but just like to say thank you to my friend Melanie, who came extremely last minute with me tonight. So and that you might all have a friend as wonderful as Melanie, at the girl in the purple jumper there. So my poem is in Irish. So Iguri of most solo singer. Dos gach ein lo agus honnig rash gebog an green. Ag tús na piara gach ila blin. Honnig scuirna bóistí agus bhí orthú na spásanna omlón a léig. Ba rud iontu é scóir agus bhí sé bhí go mustang féin a chur air. Bhí bringlód a gcuin éalaigh a gcónaí de bheith inar amhránathe éonar. Chur mé féin agus ar nóig beag na gach chalín eile isteach go topic. Can gach chalín ruam an na arán céine, álan orid spiritual. Sa siomar rang sean sin teob is teanna cú. Ba mise an sais poiste sin bhí arma bheith de friú. Breisigh né chun marrón féine cuma, Selena, bheag mise dríoch tú. Hiú mé amach ar an stráte, agus can mé me arón álan gair. Is cuivan lom, aigen an inventory ilig, dúirt lom cynnig an drama níos fearr.
Again, míle buíochas the Róisín Sheehy agus Diarmuid Johnson. And thanks to Paul for working the magic there. Big Ealing, 13th of June, Slán Óáile, Gramavik.